Hey everybody, Gina DeLuca here. Okay, today I'm going to have a little fun working with a little bit of texture. We're going to see what happens with this. Just trying to get certain techniques down before I move it to bigger pieces, and also getting recipes down for particular techniques and what have you. So I have a bit of an idea of what I want to do here. I have some mountains going on. There's going to be some clouds, and I'm going to try to build it up a bit because I want to sand it down, and I want to give it like a very smooth effect so that it actually kind of looks like it was carved out of stone. We'll see. We'll see how good I get on that. But it's an idea. So I kind of wanted to have like that weathered stone look. Like it was carved, but it's old. Anyhow. So that's what's happening today. This mix here, this is like a hodgepodge of stuff. There's spackle and plaster of Paris, gesso, wood glue, and paint, white paint in there. You can probably just use molding paste or modeling paste. Gel glosses would work, like an extra heavy gel gloss. But I wanted it to be sandable. I wanted to be able to sand it. So this particular mixture has the joint compound, the spackle and the plaster of Paris in it. Yes, so that's basically, this is what we're working with today. Before we get started, have you seen the Fluid Art inspiration cards? If you have, you can fast forward about a minute, but if you have not, what we have are 52 cards. There are 42 technique cards, and each technique card has an associated video here on YouTube that gives you all of the exact paint brands, colors, consistency, the recipe, and of course the technique, all of the things that I can't fit onto a card. This is the picture in that video. This box contains a tip for this particular technique, and here at the bottom you have the color palette that was used in this painting. And then these two boxes can be used together as the basis of a 2-color palette, or you can add to those colors. There are also 8 bonus color palette cards. Each one has 5 color palettes. You can use all of the colors or just some of the colors. Mix and match the bonus color palette cards with the technique cards, and you have more combinations than you could ever paint in a lifetime. These are available at my website, ginadeluca.net, and also at amazon.com. All right, so basically, I just drew this out here just to kind of give myself an idea. It's in my head now. You could come in and just do this one area at a time, certainly, but I kind of wanted to do one smooth surface and then come in. And instead of leaving canvas back here, I want that to be plaster too, because I'm going to want to sand that a little bit. I want it all to have that weathered appearance. Okay, switching to voiceover mode because I had to go to high speed here. This didn't really take very long, but it does not fit within the Sunday train. It was about, the video was about 45 minutes total. So what I'm doing here is I'm basically just giving myself a wet substrate to work on so that what I put down does not peel off. When I did the flower, I kind of put it on the dry canvas, and there were parts where it was kind of coming up, so I thought maybe if I laid down this surface first, it would stop that from happening. You will see later on that, it kind of helped. I'm gonna
keep working on this recipe. This mix that I'm using is great for the technique that I used, where it kind of looks like fabric, where I used the stuck up pigs. I think that was the last video maybe. It was perfect for that. It was absolutely perfect for that. I don't know that this mix is perfect for the application that I am using it in at the moment. There was some cracking in the clouds, so spoiler alert. But there is still stuff to be learned from this, for me anyhow, technique-wise, basically like using these palette knives to help create this texture. I'm just kind of putting a little on the edges there where I missed it. So I get these ideas in my head, and then I have to figure out a way to make them happen. And whether that is with pouring or now with this texture, I will see something in my head, and then my goal is to figure out, how do I realize that? And there's often a lot of trial and error. So that is what happens here. I keep trying different techniques, different ways of laying the mixture on. And this is very, very forgiving. If you make a mistake, you can just go back over it, smooth it out and go back over it. So I'm just making these smaller mountains in the background. I come in and go back over those a couple of times. Yeah. So laying in the bigger mountains in the foreground, I kind of do this, kind of just dip the palette knife in and pull it up, and it gives it this nice jaggedy effect where it looks like rocks. It looks like mountains. But I go back over those areas multiple times because A, I'm trying to perfect the technique, and B, the mixture kept kind of flattening out on me. So I had to just keep doing it. Now I'm laying in my clouds. And you will see they kind of develop as I go. They become very Van Gogh-ish, unintentionally. So one of the pieces of advice that I can give here is, don't be married to the outcome when you are trying something new. You're learning new techniques. Give yourself permission to make mistakes. If you wind up with a masterpiece, your first try, your third try, your fifth try, amazing, awesome. But if it is not, I think a lot of artists put way too much pressure on themselves to have every piece be perfection. And, the truth is, perfection is a very rare thing indeed. But it's also very stifling to an artist to expect yourself to create perfection. There are pieces that I did back in high school, that mostly I was drawing back then, and I had some charcoal pieces that I worked on, and then I would hang it on the wall, and I would stare at it and then go back and fix something months later. Uh, like they never actually were finished, because in my mind they weren't perfect and I needed to keep working on it until it was. And so I was never happy with those pieces. And what I have learned since then, especially since I started working in fluid art, that it is okay for it to not be perfect. Working with fluid art helped me to become a lot more relaxed in my work. Even when I was working with watercolor, I was obsessive with my watercolors. I would spend 60 hours on an 8x10 because I was trying to make it look like a photograph. And, I did achieve that. But I did kind of drive myself crazy in the process, which is one of the things that I really enjoyed about working in fluid art, is that it doesn't, you get what you get and you have to live with it. You can mess around with it a little bit, but, there's only so much that you can do. And I'm kind of finding that a bit with this, with working with the texture stuff. You can get it darn close to what you want, but it might not be perfect. And then you just have to learn to be okay with learning. The learning process, the learning curve, giving yourself permission to just have fun. This was fun. This did not come out perfect. This was not exactly what I was going for. But I actually had fun doing it. And I did learn quite a bit. Just working with the palette knife in this way. This little dabbing effect was really awesome for doing the mountains. When used sparingly, I did use it a bit much on those front mountains, the ones in the foreground. And then I'm kind of trying to smooth out the sky a bit there. And as I said, it's very forgiving. I just keep coming in and it's like, oh, I didn't like how those mountains were working out. Let's see, what do I want here? Very forgiving. Just play. Allow yourself to play. I kind of wound up in a bit of an art funk. You may have noticed. Things have gotten busier with the music thing, but my art funk started way before the music started picking up again. And it kind of stopped being fun, because I wasn't painting to make myself happy. I was painting solely thinking about content and what people want to see. And that's really not good for the creative spirit. If you're worried about, do people want to watch this, then you're creating content, not your art, not the thing that is moving you. So I am going to be playing around a bit more with different mediums. I am still going to be doing fluid art, for sure, but I just really felt like I needed to step out of my comfort zone to get my creative juices flowing again. That's kind of how my brain works. I need to learn something new, and then the creative juices get flowing, and then that spills over into other areas. Then I'll get ideas for painting. I'll get ideas for music. But once I hit a creative funk, it applies across the board. Like nothing works. So that's what I'm trying to do here, and I'm sure anyone who has done this, been an artist for any extended period of time, you've hit those funk areas too, where you just kind of run out of inspiration. But it's coming back. It's coming back to me, y'all. You'll be seeing more of me. So I'm just trying to tidy up these mountains a little bit here. I got a little heavy-handed on the dabbing aspect. Trying to straighten that out. And again, just covering the sides a bit there. But artistically, we should be having fun with everything we do. If it's all just stress, that kind of defeats the purpose of doing art, right? So if it stopped being fun, find a way to make it fun again. Okay, well, my mix is very wet, and it keeps kind of falling like icing that needs more powdered sugar. So I think maybe I needed to add a bit more plaster to the mix. But, for a chance to play around and make something potentially cool, I'm not mad. We'll see how this dries and what happens with it. But, I got to mess around, try a few different techniques to get different effects, and I love my little Van Gogh clouds there. I wasn't really intending for them to come out so Van Gogh-ish, but I'm not mad at it. He's one of my favorites. I spent enough time staring at that painting that it's really not very surprising that that just kind of came out that way. So, yeah. So I'm going to let this dry, and I will bring you in for a close-up. Back in a few. Okay, here it is. You can see it did kind of crack in some places. Boo. So that tells me my mix is still not right. I'm going to have to keep adjusting that. Maybe add some modeling paste to it, or I don't know. But it's not quite right. It worked great for the piece that kind of looked like fabric. But for this application, I don't know if it's because I'm doing it on canvas and the canvas, it's pulling away from the canvas. Maybe. I don't know. It is kind of thick right there, but it's not that thick down here, and it did crack there as well. So that happened. But overall, I think the idea is pretty cool. These look pretty good. If I were to come in and paint these, that texture is perfect. But that is what we wound up with here. So, back to the drawing board. That's okay. I had fun while I made it, which is really very important to me at this moment. Pull yourself out of that funk. Whatever it takes, however you need to do it. I need to do it by having some fun and learning something new. So, Know thyself. But that is it. That's what we got today. I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed. Please do like, share, and subscribe and all that good stuff. If you are subscribed, please make sure that you click that bell so that you receive notifications of new uploads. I am lost in the algorithm. I'm lost in there. So the only way you're probably going to see me is if you receive the notifications. Do check out the description box below for links to my PayPal tip jar if you feel so inclined, my affiliate links and coupon codes. If you use those links and those codes, anything that you purchase off of those websites, I receive a small commission at no additional cost to you. My landlord just raised my rent, so that would be appreciated. And also in the description box, you will find the link to my website, GinaDeLuca.net, where you can find my art and music and the fluid art inspiration cards for sale. The cards are also available on Amazon.com. And you will also find the link to our Facebook group, Go Make Some Art. Join us there. Post your masterpieces. Get some inspiration. Ask your questions. A good time is had by most. It is the internet after all. And I think, we do have a Patreon. Join us on Patreon. I have weekly Q&A Zooms there. You can ask your questions in person, face to face. All right. Yeah, I think that's it. Is that it? I think that's it. That's it for me for today, y'all. I hope you have a beautiful day. Thank you for joining on this premiere train every Sunday. That's it for me. I hope y'all have a beautiful day. Now go make some art.